Yes, indeed, Todd. It is bus time. Welcome, Hobby Tom, and welcome, Todd. You're the only two that have mentioned anything so far, so I'm not sure if anybody else is in the chat. Like I said in the chat earlier, yesterday my back was killing me. Friday, or not Friday. Actually, I'm trying to figure out what I did. Oh, I know what I did. Sunday, I cleaned up the cabinet, rearranged it, took everything out of the cabinet, put everything back in. A lot of work, spent about 4 hours moving back and forth, and a lot of the stuff weighed a lot. And so by the time I got done, I was a wreck. I actually took a day off from work yesterday, except for I had a meeting that I had to be at 2 o'clock. And, spent most of the day in bed yesterday. Woke up this morning and I felt great. Better than I felt in a long time, actually. Also got some blood work done yet. And I think part of it might be just mental, better mental state, because about 4 months ago I was diagnosed with diabetes. And actually, my blood work yesterday was fantastic. When I was diagnosed, I had, out of like 5 tests, I had flags all over the place. Yesterday, I had 2 flags. So things are looking great health-wise. So I think that might have helped a little bit today. But, feeling much better than I was yesterday. Feeling a lot better than I have in a while. And I've got a pulled muscle here that I think is finally healing. It's rough getting old. Let me think. Oh, yes. I want to show you guys something, see if I can get it in camera. Let me see if I've got, they're all written on these tags. So, Mark Schumann's Model Shop, I think it is. It's either Schumann's Model Shop or Schumann's Model Work. He's getting the Titanic from Agora, and I don't have the Titanic to show, but he's having trouble finding the part numbers or what stage number it is. So I said I'd show on tonight, at least on the bus, if it'll focus. Yeah, down there, that really little bitty number, the G1071038, that's the last two denote that is stage 38. And somewhere on the tag, if you get a part work from Agora, that's the way it comes. That's the part numbers are really small. You just have to look on the tag. If not, you just do what I've been doing as well, which is look at the parts that are in the pack and look at the PDF, which all the instructions come. The instructions for the bus are coming PDF. The instructions for the Titanic come in an actual book, because there's more than just the instructions. But you compare the parts to the parts list to what is in the bag and sort it out and then label it. So let me flip over to the other camera. And it all depends on how long things take tonight. I might go as far as stage 42, but I'm thinking more likely that I'm just going to get to stage 40, because 42 is liable to be about an hour to an hour and a half by itself, and I'm not going for another hour and a half to 2.5 to 3 hour stream this week. So let me go ahead and open these parts. We're actually going to finish the driver's cab, and stage 42 is attaching the driver's cab and a whole bunch of other parts to the actual chassis. Almost forgot. Let me get the blue towel, not the red towel. Eric will complain. I will too, because it looks really terrible on the camera. And I just pushed him. I know some people want to see the cat. Want to see the waving cat. Goofy's right here. Let's see. That is the plastic screws now. These are the metal screws. Got the oil over here. So I think I'm ready. So let me bring this back over and not lose any parts. That would suck. And I will tell you, it is hot in here. It's not as hot as it has been. It's only 78 in the room today because it's actually relatively decent outside, but it's humid. It is very humid. It rained today. It's just pretty ugly. Switch heater off when not required. White lever required. White lever off on. I love the fact that this actually has writing on there that you can read if the camera will focus. Hey, Eric. Of course you're grilling. It's summer. So you can see that it says switch heater off when not required. White lever off on. That's pretty cool. And that is... I'm on the wrong page of the instructions. That is part 38A. That is the dashboard. And it actually suggested hint in the instructions tonight say to do exactly what I do every time, which is lay the parts out. Sorry, I knocked over I knocked over Unpainted Bane with Tiny Batman, who they have been on my bench forever. This is dashboard base. Let's see, 38C. That should be this one, which is just, that's a very, very inventive name. It's panel. So D, 38D and F look really, really close to the same. I'm sure there's going to be something that distinguishes them. Those are the left and right levers. Let's see, 38E should have a hole right in the center. Another panel. .38G is the instrument box. This is the cover for it. Indicator switch. Move the screws out of the way. Eric just uploaded a picture on Discord. That's what that tone was. 38L is the speedometer, and it's marked every 10 miles. Let's see if it will focus on that. Max that it's marked at is 55 miles an hour. We've got the two wire harnesses, B and A, which are, let's see, electric. They both say electric switch. And actually, there is no lights on them. These here, I mentioned them last time, are the wire covers. I think we've actually used some previously. These actually hold the wires in place. Got a pin on one side. So you got the pin on the one side, screw hole on the other. Holds the wires down in place. 38P here is the electrical switch panel. 38K. So it's very inventive. Again, it's a post. And I think I missed this one, switch base. So these are all the parts. We get the wires out of the way. I'm going to have to uncoil them shortly, I'm sure. And before I start breaking out parts, so JP is a new type of screw. Don't have a label on the box yet. And as you can see, when I split out between the two boxes last week, I needed to because I'm continuing to get more different kinds of screws. And they always provide extra screws, which I'm not complaining. But these screws are going to end up ballasting the noses of model airplanes eventually, I'm sure. And I'm glad they provide enough each issue, because like the Agostini Millennium Falcon, years and years ago when I did that, you couldn't throw away any screws, because they would provide your screws in, say, pack 5 that you needed in pack 8. And I don't think they actually had anything in the instructions that said that you needed to keep them. So anybody who threw them away had a little bit of a difficult time, I'm sure. So that's all the screws put away. So the first thing is to take the dashboard base and identify the fixing points for 38C and E, which are the two panels. Here's the base, and here's the points that they attach to. You can see the indents on the panel. They're raised on this side, so the screws will go through. They've got it this side down with these 2 legs and the pin. And C, which is the one with a single hole in it, is going to go, I'm looking as I do it. Of course, it would help if I had it the right way around. I'm sitting here with the recesses. You were in hoodies the other day. I forgot to show Eric's grilling, and it's hot where we are. Yes, you were in hoodies the other day. It's looking like we're heading towards autumn a little bit, because we're dropping into the 80s instead of hitting the 90s and almost 100s. So on this panel, there's the screw hole. Right there. There's the screw hole and the 2 pins. They're going to go into these 2 pinholes and that recess for the screw. I'm wondering if a light goes through there. And it looks like it might. And I'll need 2 DP screws to attach these parts with. And of course, I put the screwdriver away so I don't. Magnetism is dead on that screwdriver. I don't have the orange screwdriver set up with the right apex on it anymore. Let me see if I can do that. I believe it was this one. Let me see. Yeah. Let's put that through the hole right there. That hole right there where the screw's at. I will tighten it down. This hole does line up with another hole. That's not the right screw head. That's not the right bit. That's it. That's why it's in a different spot than most of the other cross points. But the hole in the panel actually lines up with the hole in the base. Not sure what's going to go through there yet. And then part E has a single screw. Again, it's got a pin and a hole for the screw. And it goes right next to C. I think I've got it. No? I was going to say I think I've got it on there wrong because the pin wasn't letting it go down, but it'll go on there just like that. And you can see both of those go straight through. I'm sure that's where those levers go. And actually, Eric, I do agree it's hot here, but I'm sure that it is not as near as hot as it is where Todd is. But Todd lives in the desert on purpose, I'm sure. Nope, that's not it. That's it. Todd just said that he hates it here. I will tell you, Todd, when I was there, I loved it. I actually thought about retiring to Phoenix, and now I'm glad I didn't. No way you'd ever move there. Well, nobody's ever going to move to you either, Eric. So that's those two parts installed. Screws on the back. And I was correct. These two levers actually go on there, and one's the left and one's the right. And now I can see when I hold them the right way around. I'm just double checking in the picture. Yeah, those. So on the top, this lever here goes on the top, and you can see a slight overhang on the part to the inside. The opposite is true on the other one. That little overhang here goes to the inside. So this one that I've just showed is going to be the right-hand one. This is going to be the left-hand one. And the levers go up to the top. It is not keyed. It just sits in there right now until I get the screws in. So I'm only going to be able to get one in at a time, and it is 2 FP screws. And again, for those of you who haven't heard me say it before, P denotes it's going into plastic, M denotes the screws going into metal. Any metal screws, I'll be dipping into the oil, which I should actually open up. These are too big, or the heads, that screw head is, or screwdriver head is too big to fit into these. So this could be tricky. I'd almost say it should be that we glue these in instead of screw them down, because torquing down on this screw could snap off the lever. Turn it just a hair. I would snug that up a little bit more, but it would twist. So let me get the other one in here. And since this is a model kit, there will be no vibration to make them come loose or anything like that. So not putting the screw in, not tightening the screw down further than that doesn't matter. It does matter, though, if I put the screw into the post that is to attach this to probably the floor rather than the hole that the screw is supposed to go into. I'll show you that in a second, if this will thread in. So what I was talking about just now, this is the screw hole, the screw that I just put in. I was trying to put that screw into here when it belongs in the hole right here. chatting with on HTM YouTube, which why you didn't see Todd's chat. So, are you on Facebook, Todd? So that's the thing is I don't know where anybody's chatting from on because I'm on the Streamlabs or StreamYard site. Hang on. Interesting. I may have these on backwards because one has a key on it. I actually have the chat up for my channel on my computer. Now, this is interesting. Because there's a little nub of plastic right there. You can see it. Looks like it almost would be a keyway, but there's no key for this to go into unless it's on the back side. So let me pull each of these off in turn and see. That, among other things, would make sure I put the right one in the right spot. And throw the panel on the floor. So yeah, there's nothing on the inside of this one except for the pins. Of course, I'm trying to put it back on the wrong side. And there's nothing inside the in the instructions that say to look for that keyway. If there's nothing inside of this one, I'm just going to cut it off. Yeah, and there's nothing here either. Neither side had anything for that to hold that little key in place. There's nothing on the holes. And I'm putting the screw in the wrong spot again. And by the way, that's something that Eric and Todd were just talking about, you know, which channel the chat is on. That's part of the reason I think it's really cool that since I can dual stream, I can also put the chat up on the screen, because without that, if somebody chats on one channel, you never know what they said. All right, so let me get caught back up here where I was. Yeah, that's the right one. So once this is in there like that, so Todd is on the other channel. This one will not fit in. That little nub of plastic just broke off while I was pushing it. So now I can put the screw in here and it will grab hold. Hang on. I'm going to solve this. Oh, I see. So Eric has switched, and now Todd has switched. Come on, guys, don't argue. So those are on there, but they look odd to me. No, that's the right way. They're just pointed out a little bit. There's actually a picture that shows them like that. Huh. Just figuring out the gazebo. Left. Can't see. Have the messages chat must have frozen. Hang on. You should be able to see. So that's the thing is HT, it's streaming on two separate channels. It's streaming on my channel, and it's also streaming on I'm looking at the video and forgetting that it's 7 seconds behind. It's also streaming on the HTM channel. Just because, let me see what the lyrics say. Okay. Sometimes having two screens can be a little bit of a pain in the behind. Who has more subs? I do believe, I don't know who has more subs. Eric, you'd have to look at that. I think I might. But either one works fine. Okay, back to building. Okay, so next you take the box here, this panel. There's the two holes here on the box, plus a pinhole. Now let's see. Actually, why don't you guys look? I'm streaming and you want me to look. That goes on there. There's a pin here as well. Eric has 50 subs. Eric has only 50 subs and HTM has like 22. I have 200 and something these days. So it's kind of interesting. This pin here does not do anything. 250. I got more subs. Last I checked, I had like 246. He's back. Okay. So this pinhole here is going to go on this pin here. These two depressions, the lugs are going to fit into. So it's going to go on here, something like that. where I'm chatting from now. That works for me, Todd. I saw that. See, I see the whole thing. So let me get out 2 DP screws. I'm actually impressed. Every now and then I'll check and I'll end up with 10 or 15 more subs than I had last time. If I would pay attention to what my analytics say, I'd work on the Titanic. Second Titanic video has the most views of all of them. Last time I looked, I had like 1,500 videos or views on that video. The other YouTube channel that is going out on is Hobby Time Modelers, HT. It's the for the Hobby Time Modelers. It is our actual our shared YouTube channel. You have, I saw this today, Todd, you have 224. I know you don't promote. Imagine if you did promote. There's the link to the Hobby Time Modelers channel, I believe. We need to get this channel up to, what is it? I think 50 subscribers so that we can change it to where it says Hobby Time Modelers. Okay, so that is the base for the dash. I don't know why. Some of these just look like they're crooked on there. 100 subs, then can short link it. So Eric, you need to find 100 friends to sub to that channel. So take the post and put it into the socket by the driver's wheel. Okay, this one right here next to that switch. It is absolutely confusing. Best way to do it is just watch for the link when it comes up either on YouTube or on our Discord, which we don't promote it as much as we could, but there is a Discord out there for Hobby Time Modelers as well. It is in my it's in the description of the video. Okay, so that's where that lever went. That lever is actually going to help to support the dash. This support part here has the two lugs on the bottom with the screw holes, if I can see it, and that pin right here by my finger. They go into these two holes here, screw holes in the bottom, and the pin will go into this hole here. It's going to fit on here like that. And so screw holes are now available down on the bottom there. And that's going to be 2 JP screws. I can even tell by looking at these are a little bit heftier than a lot of the screws we've been using. Let me take that tape loose. I've got the steering arm taped down from last time just so it's not flopping all over the place, but it's in the way for me to put these screws in. Not sure how well that steering arm is going to work when the bus is actually put together. But like I said last time, if the gear in here does give up, it's not like I'm going to be planning on driving the bus all over the place. It's going to go onto a shelf and be a display. Speaking of displays and stuff that's going to go up, my X-Wing, I was going to finally finish the wiring for it. You know, I finished the wiring. I wired the original electronics in and the Falcon 3D parts in, but I needed to put them together. Exactly, Todd. So I went to make sure that everything was working. I plugged it in, or actually I didn't plug it in. I put in batteries, turned it on, and nothing. I don't think the remote's dead. I think I put new batteries in the remote, but nothing works on it. And the only thing that was working on it anyway was the wings opening, not closing, and the laser cannons. So I'm just going to wire up the Falcon 3D parts. Yes, I did that, Todd, and the shim, even with the shim in there, it was screwy. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the wings open, and I may eventually rewire the laser cannons because everything else is lit by the Falcon 3D parts. Main part is the engines. I love my engines the way they look. Not break open. Pop off some panels just so I can open the wings. Exactly. Once it's on the wall, because I've got the wall hanger for it, I'm going to open the wings, and then I'm going to have a switch somewhere. I've got a light switch that'll run all the models in there, and I'm just going to use that switch to turn it off and on. So the next part that goes on here is the speedometer, and it's going to go in that hole right there. Oops. And it's just got some 3M tape on the back of it. I'm not sure if that just came off or not. Yeah, it's sticky. So let me get some tweezers because I would like to have it on there correctly. And pop it in there. Kind of, but mine are kind of the same way, Todd, except for I never put batteries in mine. I wire mine for wall power. I built a box, and when Donnie and I first met, I was like, yeah, I'll show you how to build this thing. And I started building one, never finished it. I need to do a video on how to set yourself up with a, if you set up a 9-volt power supply that's got some decent amperage and figure out how much you can run off of it. I've got these boxes that when I build them, I can run either up between 5 is what the original one I built. And I've got one that I'm setting up for 8 to run off of one single power supply. power modded the DeLorean, the Ecto, and the Enterprise. Well, and the thing is, my Ecto one, I power modded it too, except for what I did was I bought the AAA. I bought the AAA plug or AAA adapter that you plug in these 3 AAAs in the bottom, and a wire runs out and plugs into the wall. Okay, so switch that this was talking about goes on here. There's a keyway here. There's a keyway on the mount as well. And then the switch itself with this nub on the top. Yeah, the battery eliminators. Francisco got some for Christmas. And I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do with the bus as well. So there's the key on the bottom. It's going to go in here. I'll show it on here, and then I'll put it onto the other part. It's going to go on here just like that. Push all the way on. And push on here. And then it's going to be held in place by a DP screw. Now, actually, the first time I saw those battery eliminators, it was it was for the DeLorean, and it was actually, I don't remember whose videos it was, but it was on somebody's video that they showed them, and I was like, that is pretty cool. Might have even been Chris Falcon, who is recently come back to YouTube. He was gone for a while. So there is that switch. And then this electrical switch panel. That's where those 2 switches I have are going to go. Turn this upside down. It's going to go on here. Just making sure. Okay, so you got 2 posts with screw holes in there. These 2 tabs here with screw holes in them. We know you're very excited to pick up your Jeep there, Todd. You're actually going to get it before the new model year comes out, maybe. So it's going to go on there like that was until it fell off. You get the screws out, and I will start to put it on there, and then I'll show you how it's going to actually line up. Only 6 months since you ordered it. That is why when we bought the only brand new car we've ever owned, we bought it straight off the lot. It was kind of funny. 3 years ago, when we moved to Illinois, we closed on the house on my birthday. And so the next day, we went and bought my car. So I got, for my, let's see, what am I now? I'm 57. So for my 54th birthday, I got a house and a car. But actually the house is more my wife's than mine. It's ours together, but I let her do what she needs to do with the house. And the screwdriver head is too big on there. It's not letting me get this screw in. It slipped off twice, so let me get it with this one instead. And it is still not, it's gone through the tab, it's threaded on the tab, but it has not gone into the hole on the pin. Try this again. Yeah, that's got it going in. Do this other side. Sure. No, don't have to live till 99 to pay them off. In actuality, the house will. We may or may not pay off the house before we pass on to the other side. Not concerned one way or the other. This is the forever house. But the car will be replaced. Maybe not replaced, but we will be buying one more car shortly before I retire, just so that we can make sure that we've got a car that will last us forever. So, those are the two screws right there. Right there. Holding that panel on, that's where the switches are going to go. I really need to set up a camera over here. So these switches, take this that one, turn the dashboard assembly. Okay. Let me untwist these. I probably don't need to stretch it out, but I do know that within the next 5, having looked ahead, within the next 5 packs, these will actually be laid into the frame of the chassis. So let me stretch that out. I'm going to stretch this one out. And it says, let's see, the yellow one. So the white one, this one here, goes in on this side. Left side as I'm facing it. It's kind of funny. It shows it sticking straight up, and it's not. Let me bend it. And then the yellow one, bend it as well. So they're going to go in there like that. The white on the, as I'm facing it, left, yellow on the right. Forgot about this piece right here from pack 37. I was sitting there going, where is that? And there's 2 tabs sticking out there. The tabs are going to go in over top. I think, hang on. So it shows It doesn't actually show those tabs, but it does show those two squares there being towards the opening. And those are going to go in with 3 more DP screws. So I'm going to do the middle one first. Oops. Oh, Gilly, I did not realize that was you. I thought that was Todd that actually said that I got to live to tell your 99 to pay him off. No, I thought that was Todd. I do not know why. Welcome, Gilly. Welcome, Mark. I'm in the zone, man. I'm in the zone. I've actually been working on this single pack 38, for 50 minutes now. This one has an awful lot to do in it. So that one's, let me see if I can get that screw in there, because if I can get that first screw in there, it should hold everything together. And that is the big if, because I was putting the screw in next to the post that's supposed to hold it. No, it's not playing nice. I wonder, I bet you those tabs will fit right between the wires. And I'm putting this thing, I was putting it in upside down. That actually looks a lot better. I'm using the small screwdriver again just because it fits in close like this one won't. Oh, and other things that have gone on. Jason from, I appreciate that, Mark. So Jason from Aussie Modelers Live sent me some stuff, and he bought a company in Australia called Outlaw Paints. Or hang on, let me make sure I don't screw this up. Yeah, Outlaw Paints. Unfortunately, well, very fortunately, I thought it was really cool, and now I don't even know where I put the ones that there they are. He sent me 3 samples, but I didn't have the stuff to clean the airbrush afterwards. Well, while I was arranging stuff today for the stream, I dropped the blue one that I really wanted, to try out. So I still have 2 of them, and I will give a report as to how well they work. They're they're acrylic lacquers rather than just regular acrylic paint. But as you can see, they are very thin. They are pre-thinned. They say to shake them upside down. Shake them upside down to make sure you get all the paint out, but you have to have lacquer thinner for cleanup on the paintbrush or the airbrush. And like I said, when I moved them, I dropped the blue one. I was like, oh, I'm very upset with myself. But here's an old piece of paintbrush. I would, Gilly, except for, I looked on his website. That's a $10 bottle of paint. I'm sure it cost him $10 at least to do the shipping. If I'd have paid for it, I would, but when I get to the point where I'm going to want to use it, I'm going to order some and actually give him business. They are a very great bunch. And I think that Jason, and like I was saying, brush came clean. I believe that Jason might also own a glue company or model glue company called Icky Sticky. I would, just give them a look, guys. They look very competitive because even though it's a $10 bottle of paint, that's for a full ounce. And I don't have any of the Tester's paints handy. The Tester's paints are a quarter ounce, and we're spending $3 for them. And those are enamels, or those are, enamels. So I'm going to give them a try. I will let you guys know how well they work when I use them. I am positive they're going to be a really good paint. If they are, they will become part of my arsenal. Oh, and along with that, it was kind of funny because Eric and I were the only ones who played. Basically, we were supposed to insult each other. And I out-insulted Eric. So he sent me this truck as well. A lot of fun. I just wish that, my schedule was a little bit different because then I could catch their stream more often. But 3 o'clock in the morning, this old man is usually sound asleep. Okay, finally got all 3 of the screws to thread in. They're going to hold in these wires. So Gilly, if you do, I would suggest just, reach out to Jason, either on Aussie Modelers Live or just drop him a line at Outlaw Paints and let him know that you're interested. Because that's how I ended up with the paint. Is I was on their stream and I said I was interested. He said, "Well, send me your address." That is the best way. Free samples are great to get people to come back and to give you advertising. To be honest. Almost paid $50 for a coffee mug. Wow. But here's the question. Because I looked it up I Googled it, and the question is, and I'm waiting to hear back. I know that Icky Sticky, it's Australian dollars. I'm pretty sure it is on Outlaw Paints as well, which if it is, it's a lot cheaper than you think. Sorry, guys. Thirsty work. So let me make sure. Yeah. So like I said, there's screws. There's the switches. I can feel them, that they are working. 25 the other stream. 50 US. Wow. 100 Australian dollars for it. So by winning, you get to pay for the mug? Oh, they were having a fundraising auction. That's cool. That is really cool. Okay, so this is going to mount via these 2 tabs. And those 2 tabs are going to line up with this lug and this lug here. Let me just get rid of that tape because it twisted. Now it doesn't want to let go of me. Men's mental health. I missed it, guys. Where was I? When was it? So this is going to go on here like that. And it's going to use 2 JP screws to hold it in. JP, if I remember right, were small. At 2 a.m. I'm an old man. I'm asleep at 2 a.m. Eric, on the other hand, has just gotten up at 2 a.m. Raise funds and awareness. Absolutely. That one's in, started. That one is started. That one's tight. I did tell him all the rest of us were like losers. Well, of course. Some of us have to get up in the morning. Trust me, when I'm no longer working, I will be up all hours of the night as well. Okay, so let me get 3. That's right, forgot. That's metal. Yes, I know they're mean by a lot. They're meaner to each other by a lot, but it's true love underneath. I mean, it is absolutely. It's just like Nat and Lewis. When they are on, when they're streaming, it is funny to listen to them too. And yes, they do, Eric. They rip each other proper. Like, I can't even remember what the insult I threw at you was, but they were impressed. So now let me take this out of the way. So what we're going to do here, now I can go ahead and get this tape out of here as well. We're going to run these wires across the back or the bottom of the driver's cab. I just thought about it because I came very close last week to snapping off the brake handle here. I don't have anything handy, do I? I do, actually. I want something to set it on top of so that I don't do any more damage to anything. Okay. So these wires, get the red and black one out of here. These wires are going to come out this direction. Just making sure, yeah, it comes down around there. It comes through this first lug. There's a notch right here. You can see that notch right there for the wires to come through. It goes through these two posts, and that's where the first one of these is going to go. I need 4 AM screws. I should do that. I should get some foam sponges in here. Is it 4? No, it's only 3. That's right. It said there's 5 spares of those things. So let me get the screw on here. So the screw goes on the side that's towards me. These things can be a little bit tricky. what I find is the easiest way is put the pin in like that. Just put it in the side that it's going to go into, and then rotate it over top of the wires it's going to hold. Get the screw started and tighten her down. Make sure that's all the way in. And it should stay like that. Any kind of, if anything pries on that, it'll pop right out, but it should be okay because nothing should be going after that. And then these next ones will do the exact same thing. It is rather interesting the way they've got this thing running because this switch right here from last time is up. So I'm going to see if I can thread these underneath. And tie it down like that. This, and the red and black one is actually the one that's on top right now. And then again, the screw is on the same side. So I'm going to pop this in here like that. Swing it around. Forgot to get the screw on here. And this time, I forgot on the first one. And one of Todd's jobs is to keep me from screwing up, and he forgot to tell me to dip it in oil. First one didn't go into oil. This one is. Todd may not realize that this is a metal part. Go, just like that. Run them out the back here. Doing my best to make sure I don't block anything. Can't see any. Well, you're supposed to be watching. Ships. Capturing Ben Robinson tweets in another window. And if you do like ships, use 2 pool noodles taped together to hold your ship snug. I see. Actually, I think more that your job was to keep me from screwing up on the Enterprise. And since the Enterprise went bust, I guess you lost that job. Maybe it was my fault that they went bust because they were doing fine until I bought oil for my Enterprise, for the screws on the Enterprise. Put that down. Put that in. $1 hacks. Well, I think it'll be back too, but is it going to cost more than it was before? So there's those harnesses. No eagle moss in the middle. Can we say that again? Can we say it loudly? Shout it in the streets. No more eagle moss. I'm sorry. So that, after an hour and 10 minutes, was stage 38. And I have I have available up to stage 43. I'm not making it that far. Recycled space junk. Ooh, Wayne laid into him this morning. You mean on his? So what you're saying is I need to watch that video soon before somebody makes him take it down. Oh, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do at least one more stage, but like I said earlier, I'm not doing another almost 3-hour stage or almost 3-hour video again. On his live stream today, I'm going to have to go and wait. He does I knew it was a Thursday. Did not realize he did a Tuesday. So I guess I will have to go and find his Tuesday live stream and watch it. And so I'm taping these together just so that they're not flying all over the place, and it will give them the opportunity to tie themselves to knots where it's going to take me 45 minutes just to untangle them when it comes time to put them into the frame. That's called planning ahead. Okay. When I leave my mouse over top of the chat, I can't see what the next thing that was put. So now I have 5 spares of these, which I'm sure I will find places for. Let me bring over. I will probably, maybe, do stage 4. Yeah, 39 is not going to be a very long stage. So I will probably do stage 40, which is the first part of the actual body of the bus. I don't know if you guys just heard that. That was my grandson's dog. Actually, we think he's part dog, but mostly hair. So this is the driver's seat. There's a bunch of JP screws right there. Wasn't me. I did not bark. Yeah, Apollo is a very, very noisy dog. So these parts are all hard plastic, and these are rubberized parts. So let me see. That's the seat base. Backrest. Seat upholstery and back seat pad and backrest. Let's see, backrest upholstery or seat support. Okay, sorry. But these are these will go on top of these parts here. And there are no numbers to them. It's just fit and shape. I can tell from the shape of this is the back. And the JP screws. So we'll start with the seat support, or the seat bottom. And that goes on there just like that. And it gets held in by 4 JP screws from the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and get 8 of those JP screws out right now. Actually, I'm going to get a bunch out and just leave them there. Go ahead and set this one on here because I was thinking the curves on this was denoted the back, but it does not. The curves on that denote the seat itself. Or no, it goes on this way. Sorry, I was right in the first place. I was thinking it went on from this side, but it doesn't. It goes on. should go. There we go. Goes on like that. These lugs go into these posts here that have the indentations. So there's the seat. There's the holes for these lugs to go into. Screws are going to come in from the bottom side and hold that part on. Had a fly on my leg. There's 3. It's not all the way tight. It's just I'm getting them started and then I'm snugging them in. There's 1, 2. I sound like Wayne. 3. Come on. And 4. So, like I said, 4 screws there, and you can see here. Wait a minute. Okay. I was sitting here thinking the screws were going to come up from here, but they're not. You can see the screws are on there. You do the same thing on the back. There's 2. There goes Apollo again. And that one all the way down. That one. So those are all in. And I'm sure there are aftermarket parts that would cover up these screws. I'm not going to worry about it. And then these 2 screw holes here are going to fit on top of these 2 lugs that have screw holes through them. And it's going to go just like that. I'm not going to be able to reach that with the shorter version of the screwdriver. Actually, before I do this, let me just make sure. Okay, I wanted to make sure because it would suck to find out that I had to take it back off to get the cushions on. There's that one. I only got out 2 extras. Not bad. With just grabbing a bunch. And I might actually still need those 2 extras going into the bottom of the seat. Okay. That one's in there a little bit off. There we go. It was cross-threaded into the back of this, or in the bottom of the seat. Come on. It does. It actually does. And Todd, it's actually flexible too. Nope, I'm only going to need one of those, it looks like. So you get these out. And the way these work, as you can see in there, the little gaps. And they're basically tabs, like rubberized tabs that are in here. And these are going to push just down into those slots, just like that. And it's actually a little bit cushioned. Then the bottom is the same way. Except you got to push it a little bit. It bends. Yes, it does. Okay. Just notice these are at an angle too. So it's actually going to start out further out than it's going to end up. If I remember the DeLorean had seats like this. You know what? That's not going on there very well. It says to do the other one first. But since this goes down into the gap underneath, it wasn't working very well. They are very interesting, to say the least. Yeah, it worked a lot better. If you decide to do the Routemaster, put the driver's seat bottom in first. The instructions say to put the back in, but the bottom going in first makes it work a lot better. And then this last rubberized piece, I'm going to keep that. That's good glue tray material there. Bring the little drill box back over. Why is that bowed out on the side? Hang on. I wonder if I have this in backwards. This is where I drop this and break like 13 of the bits that I have in here. That fits a little bit better. So let me set this on here. It's not going to stay. So this here, which actually does kind of, no, it doesn't. I thought it would compress a little bit, but it doesn't. It actually has a pin on it. Pin matches up with a hole right there in front of the post. So drop that pin in there. I think it's in there. So it goes on there like that. And then there's a screw, there's a post there, screw hole in the middle. It's going to go in here just like that. Let's see if I can actually line it up. There we go. I kept hitting it off to the side, so it's on there like so. And that is a JP screw. I can lose the longer part of the screwdriver. That's plastic. I was about to dip it in oil. And there were keyways in here to keep the bus seat from moving, from turning left and right. And that is all that there is to do in that stage. We'll put the JP screw in here. move some stuff out of the way because the next pack I've actually been looking forward to since last week. We're finally getting to part of the body of the bus, which helps to use the sharp end of the knife. So there's the driver's cab. There's a bunch of little envelopes in there. Some of them are screws, some of them are not. Make sure there's nothing left in there. Get the rest of the parts out. And that's all the parts in there. So we got the cabin frame, that part right there. And there's parts inside there as well. Another glue tray. So there's the cabin frame. We'll leave that in there. What is this? This is F. This is a heating line. We got screws. Let's see. This is the climb handle. License holder. Side light lens. Might not be able to see that. It's really small. There's a side light lens. Like I said before, the heating line, the side light reflector. This is a water pipe, another water pipe. This is the relief pipe. This same thing as in your car. When your car overheats, that's where the overflow goes. AM, NM, and JM screws. It is very nice. Take it out. And actually all of the, wow. I can't read that. Maybe I can in the camera. No. I'll have to take a picture of that later. It actually looks like, unfortunately, it's rubbed off a little bit. It says something on there, I'm not sure. But the gold leaf on here, you are absolutely right. That is beautiful. Matter of fact, let me see. I'm just looking. There they are. Let me see if I can actually read what that should say. (8/5 RM 5/8) and RM 5/8, and it is rubbed off. The paint is rubbed off a little bit on that one. I'll have to see how it looks on the vehicle itself. I don't think I'm going to complain, but I might. Dumping out the AM screws. Supposed to be putting them in. Those. M&Ms in here. I do have the chassis over to my left and will not be using it at all tonight. But once I get this part finished, I will bring over the original body parts and we'll take a look and see how they look together. So first thing, I'll take this out right off the bat. It says to put the lens in there. There's a locating notch inside of the lens. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that or not. There. Opposite my finger is where that locating notch is. And that notch goes to this side. And I don't have it anywhere near there. Add it for a second there. Keeps going the opposite direction of what I want it to. Okay, that is the notches in. Wow. I am probably going to have to get this part replaced because I don't think it's supposed to be bent that far in like that. I'll have to see if I can straighten it out if it is. Very small. So on top of that is going to go this reflector, and it's going to be held in place by 2 AM screws. I want to try and bend it back, Todd, but if it bent or if it cracks at all, I'll contact you and say, hey, I don't like to complain, but I'm going to do the one towards the wall first, and these are metal screws. I almost put in another screw without oil, Todd. That's tight. That's definitely not supposed to be bent in like that. Actually, yeah. I am done building the bus until I get this part replaced. As you guys can see that as well as I can. That snapped. And you guys saw me take it out of the package. I didn't bend on it at all. So makes me sad. Actually upsets me. Let me see. Okay, all the parts that go on here. Yeah, the cab does not go in. So these parts that all go on here, they're going to end up sending me the entirety of this pack, I'm sure. Even if they say they just send me this part here. Todd said, "Well, damn it, not your mother." And ouch. Even if they just send me this part here, I can take the parts back off. I'm going to go ahead and finish building this, and then when I get the replacement part, I will build this up, but I can't go any further until I get this replaced because everything's builds off of here. So I'll email them because they're closed right now. And they're really, really good about replacing this stuff. So here is the license holder. And it has a pin and a screw hole to go into those two holes right there. So set the pin in and then get a Agora. I think I said Agora. And actually, yes, they do send the single pack. When I got box 5, I think it was, I was missing one of the packages, and I wrote them, and they sent it to me pretty quickly. It was issue number 43, I believe, that I was missing. Okay, that's in there. And I need one NM screw. Yeah, really? Interesting, because I found it when I was inventorying, and emailed them immediately, and they were, they sent me just the one pack that I was missing. But we'll see what happens. I'll email them tonight, and I'll even direct them to my video and say, this is where I found it. And I forgot to put oil on this one, which could be bad if I have to take it back out. And now I have the sun shining. Eagle Moss sends complete nothing. I wonder if it'll focus in, because that is actually really, really nice. You can see it actually says February of '67 in there. And yes, I didn't mind the people at Eagle Moss that I dealt with at customer service. I didn't yell at them the way some people would, because I knew it wasn't their fault. But there were a couple of times I got a little bit upset with them giving me the runaround, and then I kind of calmed down, backed off, and apologized. Yes, registration tabs are really cool. So this pipe here has a hole in it right there for that overflow pipe. And it's just a push fit. Oops. And the third party, the CS, that customer service that Eagle Moss was using, they just fed them a line of crap just like they were feeding everybody out here, all the customer base. Yeah, that's a push fit. And it's kind of funny too with Fan Home and D'Agostini right now being quote unquote separate companies. Fan Home, I called Fan Home the other day to check on something and then asked them about my D'Agostini build as well. So hole there, pin there. It goes on there like that. Hang on just a second. There, better. Kept getting shot in the eye. Yeah, it is. I know that. Still Diag. And they're actually operating under both of the names right now. Because the bus, the other bus, comes from D'Agostini. This line, I believe, let me see. Yeah, definitely plastic. So on here, there's a pin right here that this pipe is now going to attach to. Something like this. Hang on. I'm looking at the right way. Being very careful because I do not want. There we go. Now it's gone. I don't want to snap this because of the paint on the plastic. I don't remember that. It sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't really remember that. Ow. Oops. Let me take this back off of here. The picture was not very good. I had this pipe here on the other side of this pipe here. So it goes on there like that. And then this goes on to the broken piece. Very gently. I should show you guys that. So hole here, a hole here. Go to this pin and this pin. And what I did was I set the front one in because it's loose. Push the back one in because that's the one that tightens it up. That is actually pretty tight. It goes on there like that. And then the grab handle looks like it should be a push fit, but it actually has 2 JM screws. You got these 3 holes here. Middle one is for the pin. Got the pin and 2 screw holes. They've got the handle towards the outside. There's an offset on the handle. It's going to go on there like that. Where did that? The overflow pipe fell off. Sitting right there. Let me get the 2 JM screws. Yeah, these are tiny little screws. Oh, right. I heard you, Todd, even though you didn't say anything. Especially these little bitty screws. Be a good idea to put oil on them. So I'm not sure what I'm going to work on next week. Since I can't really go forward until I get the replacement part. Unfortunately, it usually takes Agora a couple of days to respond, and then about a week to get things, it's a week to 10 days to get things sent out. See, I heard you. And like I said, this pipe fell off. This is going to rotate anyway. Put that back on here if it'll stay. Nope, it's going to keep falling off. I'm probably going to end up super gluing it. Yeah, it's going to keep falling off. So I am going to put this in one of these so I don't lose it. And that is as far as I can go at this point. That's the end of this stage. But I can still, let me get these parts, this part over here. And so before Wayne started his car crash video today to work on Jaguar carpets, he went on ranch.em waiting for Ben to be let go. Chose not to make comments about the deal with PCT. So this should, if I didn't have to get it replaced, there's a lug here, here, and here, and it would line up just like that, which the front of the bus would line up just fine. The problem is, when you put the hood on, that is one heck of a gap. You can see how badly bent that is. I mean, it's almost a half inch here at the back. And that is actually, I believe, supposed to come up like that. Like see where that pipe is right there. That I believe that's supposed to come out there like that. So a little bit of a disappointment there. I will get with. I'll send a message to Agora tonight, and hopefully they will make something happen today. I just realized something, and nobody caught me because nobody noticed until I just thought about it right now. And let me show that again. So let me flip back over to the other camera. So it's not diagonally, it's bent in. This should go straight back from here, Todd. See how this side is straight? This side should be straight too. It is a full So if I put the hood on where I believe it should go, it's a full, at least a quarter, if not a half an inch back here that it's apart. You see that? Okay. Yeah, it's bent, and during that bending process, that's when this part here broke right there. And yeah, I agree. HT number of kits produced, you'll get the odd breakage here and there, and I'm not upset about it, other than the fact that I have to wait for parts. Well, see, that's the thing, Todd. I would bend it back if it wasn't broke right there. That's an actual break on the part itself. So if I bend this, I'm liable to snap it even worse. And this part here is not going to break, or it's not going to bend. Let me see if I can see right here. And that's actually looks like there's something, there might be a screw that goes in there. Yeah, see, Todd, when you said to bend it back, I was like, yeah, let me take a look. And I looked at it, and that's when I saw that break. So, totally new one, which I don't think I'm going to have any issue getting them to send me a new one. I'll just say that, yeah, I noticed when I was building it during my live, and especially when I say during my live stream, I saw that it was broke. And so I'm sure they'll replace it without any problem. It's just going to probably take, just a guess, 2 to 3 weeks for the part to get here, which means 2 to 3 weeks that I'm either going to have to do something else or nothing at all. Like, let's see, where did I put it? I put it right there. I should be able to reach it. Maybe, just maybe, during the hiatus when I can't work on the London bus, maybe I'll work on the London bus. When I started getting the parts, or halfway through getting the parts for the Routemaster, I saw this for sale on eBay, and I was like, I need that. But this is even for a 1/24 scale, it's got a ton of parts. It's going to take a long time. So maybe I'll work on it. Maybe I won't. What I should do actually is work on either the Queen Mary or the Black Pearl. So yeah, I appreciate it, Gilly. So that's it for tonight. I wish I had the ability to go further. I could, But the next step is putting windows into that same piece, and I'm not gonna tempt fate. I'm not gonna ask for problems. So saw the hood, fender. Getting there, this is where the bus really starts to come together. I've looked through the next book, because this was actually the last book in the in pack 4, or not the last step in book 4. Really going to start coming together, start building the actual frames, or not the frames, but the flooring and the benches and everything on the rest of the bus. Looking really forward to it. Not much I can do until I get get replacement parts. So hope you guys enjoyed this. If you aren't already, come on over to Hobby Time Modelers. Join us. We're on both Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe both here and on Hobby Time Modelers. Several of us stream on our channels and Hobby Time and the Facebook at the same time. There's 5 of us, 5 people that are cores, and then we didn't do one last week. Again, people were tried. You're part of us already. You're one of the founding members there, Todd. We try and do every Friday a live stream. We didn't get a chance this past Friday. Everybody was a little bit wiped out, been busy. Appreciate it, HT Hobby Time. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully it'll be next Monday. I'll try and figure out something. So have a great evening, guys. Have a great tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. And I will talk to you next time.